The Belgian town of Ypres welcomed the UCI Women's World Tour peloton for Race 8, Gent Wevelgem, where pandemic restrictions meant only the press were there to see the peloton sign on in the shadow of the Mennen Gate, where spring weather welcomed the riders for an autumn classic.
I think the weather is a bit the same and it's windy, so I expect a hard race and not a big group as last year, but yeah, I think a small group, and that will be nice also.
Look, I think it's some ways the same, like it's similar weather, but I think everyone's had such a different year, everyone handled it differently. There's so many riders in top form and there's other riders that have just had some different preparation, like myself, that I was in top form in March and April, and I feel good again now, but it's just a different way to prepare, and it works for some people but not for everyone.
Rolling out of town, the pace was high from the gun, and despite a headwind, there were soon attacks, with Emily Newson heading up the road as the race wound through the countless memorials to the 7 climbs which characterised the race. Team Sunweb led over the Kemmelberg, after which the race split conclusively, a group of around 45 women at the head of affairs. As the kilometres ticked by, the speed was high, different teams setting the pace across the gravel Plug Street roads ahead of the second set of climbs. Attack after attack ensured the race never settled as it sped and slowed time after time. On the Monteberg, as the road tipped up steeply, Elisa Longo-Borghini lifted the speed first. On the final ascent of the Kemmelberg, the real action began. Longo-Borghini once again upping the speed across the cobbles and thinning the bunch as the gradient began to bite and causing the race to split decisively. With the descent behind them, 2 small groups emerged, the second eventually catching the leaders, and 11 women headed towards the finish with a large group chasing behind. Despite there being 3 Trek Segafredo riders in there, the leading group worked hard together, staying away and opening a gap to the chasers, who began the final 10 kilometres 35 seconds behind. Only 10 seconds separated the groups when Amy Pieters kicked hard in the final kilometre, but she could not get a gap, the group sitting on her wheel until Lotte Kopecky launched her sprint. The Belgian champion looked to have it won, but compatriot Jolien D'Hoore drew level, gradually passing Kopecky to take the first win of her 2020 season.
Yeah, it feels amazing, especially in this season. It's a special season for everybody, and there are not many chances to win a race, and I'm happy I could win one. It was a nice course actually, 2 times Camel, 2 times Monteberg, also the Plug Streets. But there wasn't enough wind to make echelons. But everybody was really nervous and was waiting for echelons, but nothing happened. So we raced the whole time expecting a lot, but nothing happened in the end. So yeah.
I think when Amy started sprinting, of course to make me do this or somebody else, I was afraid that they were going to come from the back with more speed, so I hesitated a bit, and then I think I started my sprint too early, so I did a perfect lead out for Jolien, but in the end, if you asked me before, I would be happy, I think, with the second place, but now it's a bit it's a bit a disappointment, but I'm happy it's Jolien who wins, and it's a nice day for Belgian cycling.
I tried to save a little bit because I was alone and prepare for the final, prepare for a sprint or maybe attacks, but there was this other group so close behind us, so everybody kept riding and riding. And then, the sprint, and I was third, and I'm happy. Of course, I wanted to win, but podium is always really nice.
With the 2 Belgians coming home first and second, it was German champion Lisa Brennau who took 3rd place, just ahead of Australian Sarah Roy. Having set up her Bull Stormans teammate for the win, Amy Pieters was 9th, 5 seconds back. Trek Segafredo's Lizzie Deignan has extended her lead in the UCI Women's World Tour individual standing, while her teammate Elisa Longo-Borghini has moved into 3rd place. Despite a small crash, Liane Lippert managed to finish in Wevelgem and continues to lead the UCI Women's World Tour youth ranking. A great ride from Marta Cavalli moved her into 3rd place overall, while Lorena Wiebes enters the classification in 7th.